Welcome to another episode of the Gritty Hour. My name is Shawnee Boy. I'm your host. I'm here with a special guest coming in from Millbrook. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Keith to the podcast. How you doing, Keith?
Good, Shawnee Boy. Thank you for the introduction. Pleasure to be on the Gritty Hour.
It's your first one.
Yep, first
Break,
one.
Popping the cherry. I like it.
Yeah.
So how's it been? How's everything going?
It's good. Can't complain. We moved up here and just been laying low, living the slow life, the country life.
Yeah, because you I remember you were telling me you were in Lower Westchester.
Yeah.
And then now you're up just look like he's like just chilled out. You seem like you're relaxed.
I'm relaxed.
I just came from the Bronx. I'm on a different speed.
Yeah. I was down there earlier in the week, and it's just you feel when you get there that rush. It's a good rush, though. You got to feel it every once in a while. You can't just be floating through time here in Millbrook.
Are you glad you're up there?
Yeah, I love it. Mm-hmm. It's been great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then you're close to the antique shop.
Yes.
Anytime you want.
With our host, Mr. McGeady.
Yeah, the big guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Nice, man.
Actually, what I told him was that he should be doing like a little podcast with you, and you kind of did an announcement while he rang up people at the store, because that could be a sitcom show. Because there's some good stuff. Because sometimes I call the antique center when it's busy, so he picks up and I hear a transaction happen, and he could be ringing up a chandelier and saying $86, and someone comes in and says, "Hey, can we get 10%?" And he says, "What'd you say about my mother?" And that
your mother.
It's like an 86-year-old woman too.
Yeah. If he can get people to sign a waiver, you can put a camera on the whole store and then turn it into something. But I guess that's a story for another day. The reason why we're meeting up is because we're both diehard Met fans, and we got to talking around Christmas time, and I realized I'm like, oh, okay, I have another ally.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we talked about the big moves or not. I'm sure we did. I can't remember. But how you feeling about the Mets and where they're at?
Lifelong Mets fan, my whole family. We used to have season tickets, Shea Stadium. I was just telling Tom walking up the steps today in the Antique Center that me and my brother were there when Robin Ventura hit the home run. That was the walk-off home run / yeah. And then we were also when they beat San Francisco too. When it was Barry Bonds. I forgot.
John Franco.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good
he threw him that nasty screwball or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So are you more of a Shea guy or a Citi Field guy?
No, I love Citi Field, man. It's great.
Yeah.
It really reminds me of I went to Giants Park, AT&T Park, I think that's what it's called now.
Oh, in San Fran? Yeah,
San Fran. It's like a mirror image without the water behind. It's real spacious, and I love that part. And same way I love the layout. The food's great.
The layout of Citi Field is that's what I think makes it head and shoulders above most stadiums. It's like you just like it's like a free range chicken, man. You just like chill, you can go anywhere you want,
right?
And like you don't feel restricted anywhere.
No, you could buy like a $10 ticket and sit in the bleachers, and go by the bridge, have a couple of beers, watch the game from there. Every view is good.
Did you know that Shea Bridge is modeled after the Hell's Gate Bridge in Astoria? Like everything in that stadium is modeled after something in New York, like in New York City, a landmark or a building. Like, in the original beginning of it, it was the Pepsi porch.
Right.
Before now it's the Coca-Cola porch. But that Pepsi Cola sign was the symbol of the sign across the East River from Long Island City to Manhattan. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know.
That's model. And then supposedly the lights in the stadium, the ones that shine down on the field, those are all like connected to like lights of like bridges or something. I could be, but they're supposed to like symbolize New York City lights somehow.
That's interesting. Remember when they first built Citi Field?
Yeah.
Was it the fence green? Wasn't it like the first year one? It was green.
No, I don't think so.
We gotta fact check that because I remember
Yeah.
it was like it was just an odd color year one.
If you're right, I don't remember.
Yeah, and I think it had something to do with the cost at the time of the fan. I got to find the article. I should have came prepared. I wasn't expecting to talk about it, but I think it had to do with the cost and at the time ownership. Penny
Ownership.
yeah, ownership. I think they wanted a green. It was either green or black. It was just an odd color. It wasn't the blue that it is now.
It might have been black.
It
might have been black.
Because when they brought the fences in, that's when they made it blue. Remember when they made the altercation because the field was gigantic?
Yeah, David Wright's career went from 35 homers to 16.
Yeah.
Because now it's the exact shade dimensions for the most part.
Right.
Besides that little indentation in right field, which is a little bit farther than normal, but that's fine. Right. But yeah, they had the wall of shade, or what I think it was called, in left field, like to hit a home run was ridiculous.
Yeah. The dimensions were just absurd, especially in the gaps.
But they were making it like epic polo ground feel, and I'm like, yo, it's a different game, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
what's your last question about the stadium, and then we'll move on. But when you walk, obviously the Jackie Robinson Rotunda, which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
It's cool, but when you walk in and the first thing you're seeing is Dodger stuff, I've always been like, yo, you could have had like a Jackie section, like,
yeah,
for sure, but is that like the first thing people should be saying?
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I've always noticed that. I mean, I kind of just blinded myself from it, but yeah, I don't know why they haven't done anything about it. And I think they will in time, though.
Yeah. There should be, not there is it. They've done a better job, but the first year or two, there wasn't much Met stuff up.
No.
You were just like, what? All right.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it didn't. That's what the other thing too, like in year one of City, year two, it didn't feel like their park, like they didn't represent the Mets. The coloring was off. It was just, it's gotten a lot better. And now it's a good park. It's a great park to see stuff.
Yeah, it's great park. All right, so now down to the real business.
Yeah.
How do you feel about well, we'll just go with Max Scherzer. Here's a fair question. Is he too old? Did we get him a little bit too late, or you feel good about it?
No. The reason I like Max is because he's one of those guys, and if you really look at his career, he knows how to navigate his body, being the age that he is, to make it through a season that he's actually able to pitch in the postseason. You see a lot of guys, like, for example, the Braves had 2 aces down. They were able to pull it off because they hit. But if you watch Max, he always takes a little break, closer to All-Star break. He'll get on the 15-day DL. He'll jump on the 25 DL. He knows how to preserve his body well to like longevity-wise through a season that he's pitching, in a wild card series, in a national series. Like, he's able to do that. And you see him, he never misses a World Series.
No, he's a stud. He's going to be 38 though. That's a fair point. I mean, at the end of the day, if him and DeGrom are healthy, the Mets are in the playoffs.
Yes.
That's I'll say that now. That's an if though. That's an if.
Yep.
I mean, DeGrom.
Seth Lugo. They need to sign Seth Lugo, Shawnee. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. Well, they let go of Loop, which I think I don't understand, but all right.
Yeah.
But
I'm not mad about it though. I'm not mad about Conforto going. He's not really a guy that really is going to help you get to a World Series. He's just a everyday guy, but he was a big bust, I felt, right?
Yeah. When I've shared about Conforto on this podcast before, and he's a homegrowner. We're connected to him. He was probably the Met after right play left, DeGrom and Conforto on the offense. but he just never produced. Like he never brought it.
Yeah.
He just never stepped up. He never took it to the next level. So
yeah.
but you
Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, he's going to a place like Seattle and he's gonna rake it. He's gonna rake it. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Which is fine. He wasn't getting it done here, so you gotta move on.
He's like that New York player that, comes in with all this flair and zest, high draft pick or a high free agent, but then it's the seventh inning, down 1, second and 30 strike, he punches.
Yeah.
It's like he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I put a lot of guys in that category. We can go on and on.
Yeah, it's the Mets, man.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about the outfield? I mean, they got two big, one big name and one decent big name kind of guy.
I like Nimmo.
Yeah. And what about Starling Marte?
Yeah, I mean, I like Marte. He's hit or miss, right? He's been in and off injuries. I'm not putting too much hype into him. I think it was a good signing. I think they, at the cost that they got him, was fair. But he's not a guy you can rely on. He's not.
No, I thought he's an all-star.
Yeah, but he's kind of on the downhill of his career, I feel.
I'm gonna throw you. He had 47 stolen bases last year.
Right. What did he hit with runners in scoring position? You know that off the top of your head?
No, I don't. But I'm saying he's 32.
Yeah.
I say that because he's still got his speed. He's gonna play a good glove. I mean, I'm sure he's not batting 320 next year, but if he bats 270, 280, I'm taking it. So I'm looking for like a top of the order guy.
Yeah.
We need that. We haven't had that since Jose Reyes.
Yeah. Yeah. And can he fill that need? Maybe. You got it. I'm really throwing him in the category when the Phillies got McCutchen. That's kind of where I feel his Marte's career is at. Like when McCutchen came to Philadelphia 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just, he was good in Pittsburgh.
Very, yeah, and he was good on Oakland.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like he's 32. I know what you're saying. He's not a 27-year-old center fielder. I'm with you.
Yeah. And I get worried because obviously and I don't know how you feel about this, but the NL East is, I feel, the best division going in. You have the World Series champs, the Braves. Philadelphia is going to be good. Miami's, you never know.
They're always a pain in our asses. They always give us a problem.
Right.
Always give us a problem. They can win 60 games, 10 of them are against us.
Right. Yeah, all the time.
It's just like
big spots. We always play them in big spots in September.
Yeah.
So
and then I don't know much about I don't know if I'm saying it right. Canna?
Yeah.
The left fielder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I heard good things about him, but I'm not an expert on him. I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
They talk good about him, but I guess time will tell.
Yeah.
You don't like that guy. You don't like it?
No, I think they're gonna end up with a guy down in AAA. They got some good young outfielders down there.
They got the two Batty.
Yeah.
And then they got the guy that starts with a V. I always forget his last name.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be an outfielder.
Yep.
There's the two guys ready to come up besides the catcher.
Yeah. I like them. They got a good shot. Those are two good picks to fill a gap. If you got Marte, Nimmo, and then you've got a little young guy mid-season, sprinkle him in, then I think that's going to be his best role. That's Canu guy,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how that guy is.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at his stats. He had 25 homers last year. I was like, all right, he plays an above average defense. So, I mean, again, he's, when you're in New York, people who play for the Oakland A's, unless they came from another team, you don't know much about them. Right. Like I don't see the A's at all unless they're in like the playoffs or something.
Right. Games,
Yeah. So I'm just kind of going around, around the. So let's get serious. Chris Bryant. I mean, that's a name that, like, when the lockout's over, that's a name that's connected to the Mets. Do you want him at third?
Well, that I like this Escobar guy.
Play second.
Yeah, but you always forget about my man Robinson Cano.
DH.
Yeah, but you know what? He's got a pretty good glove to play second still, filler, and McNeil in there. McNeil's got to play second too.
Well, so McNeil's going to get traded. That's the talk. So yeah, we just went over a lot of names. So that's why. So like, I know it's all connected. You know, obviously Lindor and Alonso are the mainstays. They're set. McCann's set because well, even though I don't love him, like his contract is too big. He's not going anywhere. So it's really Chris Bryant and then Escobar, if you get Chris Bryant, and then Cano at DH, because there's real talk about McNeil getting traded.
Right.
Because to make room for Chris Bryant and McNeil would get them some pitching back. That's the whole like talk about it. You think that's smart?
So okay, so you're saying that Chris Bryant comes in, Escobar goes to second, McNeil gets bounced. Yeah.
And Cano, you know, like obviously Chris Bryant could play outfield some days and Cano plays second, and as you know, like it gives you flexibility.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
like Jeff McNeil, man. I really like his game. He's gonna, you know, he's like a Daniel Murphy, you know.
I understand what you're saying. Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Like he does. So like 2019, he batted 320. He hit like whatever, you know, 15, 20 jacks, but he got pull happy. And I just, and listen, I don't know if they're being coached to pull all the time now with all the analytics and the shifting and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, but like this past year, he was not good.
Agreed. That I agree.
He was not good. And then you know about the incident with Lindor.
Yeah.
That was his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like, you know, so like the coach, Rojas at the time, was telling him, hey, listen, you need to move over. And like literally McNeil was like saying no to him and Lindor. And like, that just concerns me because it's like, do you feel like you were there before those two and you felt like seniority over your coach and like a star player? Or, like, I don't know. It just wasn't a good vibe. And I'm not saying McNeil didn't correct it or he might not be great this year, but Cano's not going anywhere. Yeah, he's still due 48 million for 2 years.
Yeah, no, he's staying. No, he's staying.
Unless Cohen bites the bullet and takes the cut, which he can handle.
Yeah, but he's a locker room guy. He's a guy that he's not really a problem. He likes living in New York, you know. He's a big time locker room dude. And back to your other point, you know, what I like Jeff McNeil and I think yes, he got pull happy. He got really above himself, lost his game. But usually guys like that, give them 2 years and they find themselves again. You just don't wake up and hit 320. And again, we can get into, you know, because everyone has, you know, these hot zone charts and analytics charts. You just don't wake up and hit 320 in MLB. You know, some guys find themselves, some guys don't find themselves. I think he's a guy that's going to find himself. And that's why, like, that's Daniel Murphy in a nutshell, you know. And he's a clutch guy. Like, that's what I like about him. I like him in the box. You know, I'd rather have him hitting over Sterling Marte. And the person that fixes this whole thing is Buck Showalter. That situation doesn't happen if Buck Showalter's around. Rojas is a weak coach.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. He was a rookie coach. Yeah, he didn't have, you know, he didn't have that extra. What do you mean McNeil over Marte? That McNeil doesn't play center?
No. I'm just saying, like, in a big spot. I'm talking about.
Oh, gotcha.
A big spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can still get Bryant without dealing McNeil. I think you have to throw in like a bat. You got to throw in like one of your top prospects. You may be able to, you know.
Well, he's a free agent, Bryant. He's a free agent.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. So you can just. I mean, he's going to cost you, of course.
Yeah.
But that's just like, so now.
So this shows he should be signed then, right?
I mean, Cohen at this. That's why I asked. I'm like, listen, Cohen, you seem like you're going for it this year. Well, let's get Chris Bryant and let's see what happens. You know, I mean, he's not going to hurt your team.
Yeah.
You know.
Jeez.
I mean, yeah. So like, think about that lineup. So you have Nimmo leading off. I would put Marte second, Lindor third, Alonso fourth. I mean, that's a stellar 4 off the bat. And then you got Chris Bryant fifth.
Yeah. No, it sounds great. But, you know, all-star teams, I feel, don't win. And again, you know.
Is that an all-star team, though?
I think if you have Chris Bryant, you got kind of like a mini all-star Dodgers type of team rolling. You need a McNeil guy. You need a, like, you know, McNeil, I feel his game defines the old school Mets way. And that's why I'm a big McNeil guy. You know, grinder, don't care about what he looked like, He's going to be in the lineup. He's going to play hard, injury free. He's had some bumps, but not to the extent of some of the other guys.
Yeah.
I just feel like an old school Met guy, plays,
okay.
Works the count hard, no flash. He's had some, he's had, just like anyone else has a dip, but I think he finds himself, and I think he flares off and hits 275, 285 going forward, hits some big spots.
McNeil?
Yeah.
If he's not batting over 300, then you might as well get rid of him, because Chris Bryant will do that.
I don't think so. I think he's on his downward part of his career too.
Why do you think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
You should Google his stats this year.
No, I know his stats are good.
Yeah.
But again, look at his division. It's not really known for pitching out there. The Cardinals, their ERA, and I'm saying the Cubs division. Cardinals ERA was high this year, real high. They weren't that pitching factory that they used to be. A lot of guys were hurt. Then they got, who else is in that division? The Brewers. They were beasts. They had two high level.
They're monsters.
Monsters, good back end bullpen. They were leaders of the crop. I would love to see what his numbers against the Brewers were, because then that's how I would compare if this guy can play in the NL East.
Well, because Chris Bryant's 27.
Yeah, he's young. No, he's young.
Yeah.
But you got guys in the league now, 2021.
No, yeah. I was just talking to my brother about that. Baseball is a young man's game. Like, you need to be good if you're going to be good, 22, 23, you need to be coming into your own. Like, there's no more, like, you kind of, 3 or 4 years, and then at 27, you figure it out. Like, 27 is too late.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So I don't know. I mean, Chris Bryant, he's an MVP. Yeah. All right. He put it in a big, Jeff, you got to guarantee me that Jeff McNeil's batting 320. Then I'm like, okay. Not me, 310, something like he's got to be the hitter he was 2 years ago.
Got to average it out, because I think he's going to hit, about 285 next year. Then the following year, he's going to hit 305. I think he's going to be one of those guys, just a slow and steady guy. I think Chris Bryant, he's had some injuries as well. He's up there in age. And again, there is they found a little bit of loops in his swing. And I mean high level pitching. I think about guys like Chris Bryant. Like, if you have him on your team, you're going to make the playoffs. That's great. You're going to make the playoffs, right? Especially with a roster like that. Now, what are you going to do? Because I'm not thinking about the regular season. I know you have to, but if you're signing those guys, you can say Chris Bryant's going to show up and play on a Tuesday against, a AAA guy called up, the whole ups and downs of the season. But what is Chris Bryant going to do in postseason? He had that one postseason but not really much postseason experience after that,
he's had 2. He had 15 against the Mets that year and 16 when they won it. Yeah. So, well, I the biggest reason why I want Chris Bryant is what was the biggest thing our offense lacked last year?
Oh yeah.
We had no power.
Yeah, no power.
But I mean, Alonso, but he's, Alonso's Alonso. But other than that, there was no power in the lineup.
Yeah. Well, you got Marte there too now.
Yeah. Right. So, but I hear you, man. I know. Listen, Jeff McNeil, he's a Met, and it's hard to sometimes decide, should we get rid of him, should we not? I guess for me, the biggest thing was his just that I heard when I found out that it was him, because the whole time I thought, Lindor's being this ego guy, and he wasn't. It was McNeil being a stubborn, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, I agree. No, and you know what? And again, now Buck Showalter comes in place. He gets players like that. He fixes that in them very, very fast. Not an issue. That's gonna get cleaned up. Save the money. You still better pitching wins. Guys got to focus on that. I know we got Scherzer, but I think we have Carrasco. He's got to stay healthy. I like McGill. He's a good guy, good, reliable guy.
I like McGill. We need one more pitcher, and we need 2 or 3 arms in the bullpen.
We need arms in the bullpen. Spend that money. Don't spend
that,
Brian. I want to get bullpen guys. You look at the Braves bullpen was good. It was lights out.
Bullpen is what wins World Series now, because it's the way they approach the playoffs, right? Pitchers pitch 3 innings, and then it's a bullpen game.
Right.
Which drives me nuts. I hate, I don't like that part of baseball. I don't know if you feel the same way about it.
So from a player standpoint, I feel it's going to make pitchers their longevity. You know what I mean? The longevity is going to increase, because guys now come in the league that throw 103 years, and then they're down to 88, 87 after year 5, year 6, and they slowly depreciate. I think you get more out of a guy throwing 4 innings. And the other thing is, so as far as longevity, I feel it helps. I do like to have you like to have a Scherzer that's going to give you 7 innings. I get it. But at the same time, in the playoffs, if you got a hot hitting team, that bullpen situation works because you're giving different looks to hitters, you know. Right.
Yeah.
Same guy. You know? There's not a lot of shit.
My issue. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Would you said there's not a lot of Scherzers out there? Which of course there's not a lot. You know, DeGrom and Scherzer. There's only
2.
So many. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. And I've talked to buddies about this. The issue in like the playoffs is like you're in a 7-game series, and by game 4, you've seen every single guy in the fucking bullpen, and that's my issue with it. I don't mind, like game 1, like it works, but then by like game 5, you're like, yo, I've seen fucking Kimbrel 4 times already.
Yeah.
Like I kind of get and he's not saying that he wouldn't strike the guy out, but like I feel like that like you've seen him a lot. And and for baseball players, that's everything.
Yeah. Joe, that's how Joe Madden won a World Series, man. You know?
Yes, it is.
You
He almost did it. That was a crazy World Series.
That was a crazy World Series.
Yeah, it was a crazy World Series.
You know.
Yeah.
I was actually I had a chance to visit Wrigley Field and watch the Mets clinch the divisional series.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah.
That was when Danny Murphy was super hot. You couldn't get him out. Hello?
Yeah, it paused for a second, but now I got you. Danny Murphy I went to every home game that season.
Yeah.
It was, dude, he was. And then the World Series, he turned into like a different, like, I don't know what happened, but he lost his mojo. But Wrigley Field, my boy used to live in Chicago. I've been to Wrigley Field a bunch of times. It's a great stadium, right?
Mm-hmm. It's fabulous.
Yeah. It's so small, but at the same time, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's tight. It's like old school baseball, you know.
Yeah.
Good luck. I've never been there. So, just to be there in that situation was good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, my friend from Chicago was at that game too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. That was an easy game. They won like 10-1 or something. It was like there was no stress.
They had no answer.
Yeah.
They just had no answer.
Because I don't know, in playoff baseball, it's just stressful. It's just stressful.
Every pitch, right?
And, oh my, you're just like when like DeGrom's on the mound, his first pitch is a ball, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go. Batter has the advantage. Here we go.
We need to see him in a postseason. We really need to see what he's got. He's
only seen him once.
Yeah.
Once. And he was amazing.
He was fantastic against Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Syndergaard was just okay. I'm okay with them letting him go. I didn't have a problem with that because
he was
after surgery, that's a tough call.
Yeah.
That's a real tough call. And again, we'll take Scherzer for 2 years. It's cool.
100%. And if you look at that whole Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, the one that we dropped the ball on was Wheeler.
Yeah,
that was the guy that signed.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that they didn't sign him. He's got like almost. He could be as good as it's hard to say DeGrom, but he's like.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's not too far from it. No. He's good.
He's a top 5 pitcher in baseball right now.
And then you lose him to an interdivision team.
To the Phillies.
Yeah.
To the Phillies. You're like,
Luckily, they got Binder Joe Girardi that's all on algorithms and shifting and bullpen. And he thinks so much he overmanages the game.
I call him Blackjack Joe. He just plays it's like blackjack. You hit here, you hold. You hit, you hold. You're like, all right, man.
Yeah, he's playing like super textbook.
Yeah.
So it's like he's like hitting when the dealer's showing 2 in blackjack. I hate hitting 2 on blackjack.
No, it's 22. You guarantee you're not supposed to hold.
Yeah. Also, we won't take it there.
Yeah. And so obviously you're a fan of Buck. You're feeling Buck.
I like it. Old school manager. And you just got to look, they're set up to win within the first 2 years. So don't worry about him in year three.
The Mets have to win now.
Yeah, they're now. So exactly. You don't
it's now. Yeah.
People worried about how he is through year 3 and 4. If we haven't done anything in year 1 and 2, that's it. Good night, Irene.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah, Carlos Beltran on deck. Here we go.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like I don't know if every Met fans fully got that like around their head because they're so used to the Mets losing. Like, we're going for the championship now.
Yeah.
The minute we sign Max Scherzer, that like it's like if you're not paying attention, it's game on.
Yep.
Yeah. If we don't make the playoffs this year, it's a disaster.
Oh, big time. Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
it's not an easy answer because the division is good.
Yeah, but like we like Steve Cohen took out his like we made every move, and on top of that, did you hear what happened today?
What happened?
The Mets, we stole a Yankee manager off their bench.
Which guy?
Yeah, you remember from the A's, Eric Chavez?
Oh yeah.
He was the assistant hitting coach this first year job, and the Mets were like, no, we're gonna take you for the hitting coach. So like I'm saying that because we've now become the #1 team in New York baseball, and I'll say it. Like right now, just today, I'm not saying like come February if the Yankees make 6 great moves. But like right now, we're on the back page. Like we have more money than the Yankees. Like if you listen to sports radio, it's really changed for the first time ever in my life. I'm like, wow, the Mets are like the team of baseball in New York right now.
Buzzing. Now they just got to make sure they play through the All-Star break. You know, they got to play through the All-Star break. And but that's when you have a Scherzer like that, you know, old classy dude, you know. He'd take a little vacation in the middle of the year on a win streak to preserve his body and come back and just shove after the All-Star break, you know, and not miss any time to injury, you know.
I'm excited. I mean, obviously there's a lockout looming, but yeah, you know, like when you're just talking about like a Scherzer, I mean, you know, having like, even though he may be a little bit on the other side of his career, Marte, when's the last time we had a center fielder? Beltran. Like a real center fielder.
Yeah,
Beltran.
Yeah.
You know, when's the last time I'm trying to think about where is it? Where we had 2 like legitimate pitchers. I know that like we had I'm not talking about young guys coming up, like 2. We've never had a 1A, 1B before. Never.
No, it was just DeGrom, Syndergaard when it happened. Very
spotty. People coming up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. People coming up.
And then the person that is the MVP of the team is Alonso.
Yeah.
Like he's good. He's consistently he's gonna bat 260, hit 40 home runs, 100 ribs, and he's gotten better at first base. He's not, you know, he's not a Gold Glove, but he's better at first base. Like I love him, man. I think he's like a really good player.
And he's a homegrown guy, right? We you know, that was a great pick. Really great pick. He's gonna be a beast, man. He's just you know what he's going to give you every year.
Yeah. He's played 2.5 years. He has like 115 homers or 110 or something.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? he's good. You know, on this pace, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
You know? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just because he's going to hit 500 home runs.
And he's healthy, you know?
Yeah, yes, he's healthy.
You know, that's a big thing, man. That's, you know, you see the Yankees all the time. They fell apart last year with all those injuries. You got to get healthy guys. So much analytics is done with how they hit this. Well, will someone do some analytics on their body? You know, their body, tracking down their injuries. You know, maybe it's being done, but it's not being done well enough. You know,
guys are hurt all the time.
Yeah. How do you get hurt playing baseball?
Well, it's the grind, right? It's the grind.
It's the grind. It's the flying. I get it. But when you're making that kind of money, you have the training, the accessibility to have like some of the best doctors and training people around you. But you know, that's because I feel how ownership values players, because they got to get best bang for their buck. You know?
Yeah.
This guy, Lindor's a good signing because he plays all the time. He's one of the people that plays a lot.
He plays over 150. You want your shortstop to play over 150 games, 100%. You want your first baseman to play 150, right?
Yeah.
You want your center fielder to play 150. You know, obviously catchers aren't going to play 150, but you want 120, 130, maybe 140 in a good year.
Yeah.
you know. So like, yeah, you need certain guys to play every day. You
Yeah.
have to, you
And
know.
back to, because I know you spoke about it earlier. You threw like, like it was a sour taste in your mouth. And I feel the same way about this guy, James McCann. How badly did he underperform last year?
Yeah, I skimmed over him because I feel the same way. He drove me nuts. Like all you heard was this guy can hit. He's got a great arm, and he does have a good arm. Like but like every time he got up to play it, I'm like, I don't like it. I'm like, this is an out. Like, look at this guy. It doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. You're like, all
Yeah.
right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big disappointment.
Good defensively, but no catches that can hit since Todd Hundley and Mike Piazza.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's. I mean, that's why I said that about Conforto. Travis D'Arnaud, right? He's on the Mets. He goes to the Braves. He's an all-star. Like, you got
and wins the World
to
Series.
be. Yeah, yeah, and he like performed like well in it.
Yeah, he
You're
did.
just like, yeah. So I don't. Yeah, McCann, but I gave Lindor. Lindor gets a free pass. You get your first year, you get a free pass in New York.
Agreed.
So McCann, you get a free pass. But I was, I told T this, like come May, if either of them is batting 200, it's gonna be a fucking problem.
Big time.
Unless we're winning. If we're winning games, then people will look the other way. But
right.
yeah,
you can't continue. We did that last year. We were winning in the first part, looking the other way, but the averages were just, that catches up to you because teams get hit. Teams get hotter. The Mets got cold.
Yeah.
I wonder what that went into. Them getting, they're just getting cold as the season went on, just ice cold to the point where they were getting 3-4 hits a game.
It seems like, and I'm not into the clubhouse. It seems like the clubhouse was a problem.
Yeah.
You know about Stroman, right? He was like a huge divisive guy in the clubhouse. That's what he said. Yeah, like he created like friction or negativity or what. I don't know the whole story, but I think that they just I think the team went a little sour last year, and Rojas, like you said, he was a weak manager, so he didn't have the ability to like navigate through that probably.
Yeah, he had the mentality of I want to be everybody's friend. And you can have that mentality in the MLB, but you got to know your clubhouse, because even though you may not be making the decision, you're at every single meeting, you can easily say, hey, Stroman's been real divisive. I know it's a real rash decision, and it would be, he's been a great number 2, but this is a guy that we can't keep around. Like he's I'm going to try to make this guy my friend and invite him over for Sunday dinner. Yeah. This is the big leagues, you know what I mean? And I like Luis because he was a good player, and he's going to do well as a third base coach. That's where he fits. But he can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I'm laughing because I agree with you. That's why I'm laughing.
He's going to be a good third base coach, because he just needs to make a decision move as the play is taking place. And he's a player, so he understands the speed of the game. That's his role. He's not a manager.
Well, if you kind of put into context, so he managed for years in the minors and had success, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
And then he managed first year in COVID. All fairness, like he didn't deserve to be judged on that year, whatever. But then the next year, like he's been, he comes from a family, Felipe Alou, Moises Alou, and like they hired a bench coach to help him figure out decisions to make. You're like, bro, like you've been around baseball for 30 years, you're 40 something, you still need help trying to like figure out some stuff. I'm like, all right, like I understand like you need a bench coach, but they like specifically hired someone to help guide him through it. I'm like, man, that's not a good sign.
No, that's weak. That just shows a weak sign of leadership. And but you know what, I applaud Steve Cohen for at least giving him the shot. A lot of ownership would have asked him the minute to. But I respect his decision, and that's why I like what he's done, as far as staying open-minded. Sometimes it can't always be textbook how a lot of these organizations run their operation. Sometimes you got to think out of the brain, give a young guy a shot, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. I feel it's the Cardinal way. I think the Cardinals kind of operate, they kind of just, but they don't miss on certain things. They don't miss on hiring a manager. And we spoke about at that dinner, at the event at the Millbrook Antique Center. There's got to be a reason why they fired that guy, because he was good. Guy can manage.
Yeah, they win the playoffs every year. I think at least the last 2 years with him.
Yeah.
So so that's what I mean. Like, there's like you have no idea as a fan, as a person like us, average person, like what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, maybe he doesn't listen to the GM. Maybe he's changing the lineup. Like who? I'm not saying he is, but
Right.
you have no idea. You know.
It's a hearsay what media tells us.
Yeah.
Some's right, some's wrong. You know, but
Like,
you gotta have that bulk. Showalter Buck is gonna come if that's an issue in the locker room with Stroman, and he's gonna address that issue. He's going to GM.
yeah.
He's gonna first try to deal with it in house, and then if he can't deal with that, he's gonna tell the GM somebody's got to go. You know, and that's the point why the GMs usually and the managers have to mesh well. If they don't mesh well, it's sometimes an issue because then GMs will make rash decisions, managers will make rash decisions, and then, you know, you get just a whole cluster of opinions, and then you get egos thrown in there.
Yeah, well, that's not because Showalter worked with Kepper. Is it Kepper? Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were together in the Yankees. The Kepper was the assistant to Cashman, so
yeah,
you know, so they have experience together. Yeah, it's a good fit. Good fit.
Be a good fit.
Have you listened to Showalter in any interviews the last week or two?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I heard like he's actually funny.
Yeah,
it was good to like because you hear he's just like serious dude, but like I'm sure he's serious because you know during the game and he wants to win, but like he was a normal dude. He was like making jokes and
yeah. He addressed COVID. I think I saw one of those interviews where he was addressing COVID and kind of giving back what he was doing on that end. And that was pretty cool that he kind of already got involved in that.
Nice.
But like as far as like but when the season starts, he's dry with the media.
You know? That's what. Yeah, but listen, if we're winning games, like I don't know about you, I don't give a shit. Like if the media doesn't like it, I don't care. You know, we're just trying to listen. I know you're the same way, and you probably never saw a World Series, have you?
Well, I saw Kansas City.
No, I mean like a championship.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I mean, we're all just trying to get a championship.
I know we were close in 2000, 2001.
Yeah. Versus the Yankees?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was and then 2006 was our best shot.
Yes.
Yeah. I was out that game 7, the Chavez catch, and then Howman gave up the home run to Yadier.
Yeah.
Molina. Oh, that was like such a that was the most probably one of the biggest roller coaster games I've ever been to.
Yeah. Yeah. I was at one of the Kansas City Royals games. I remember that game though. That's a tough one.
What the Cardinals one?
Yeah, the Cardinals one. The 3-2 breaking ball to Wainwright, that started his career.
Dude, so we were like, for some reason, I'm pretty sure David Wright did a squeeze play, a guy on third, and we scored a run. And we're up like 1-0 the first like 2 or 3 innings. Yeah. And then the Cardinals, you know, they squeeze in, they sneak in a run, whatever they did. It's 1-1. I'll never forget this. 6th inning, Chavez makes the catch.
Right.
Top of the 6th. Dude, the place, like, you know, beers just, it's a raining beer, like it just erupted. And in the bottom of the 6th, we had the bases loaded. I'm like, dude, this is ours. And then the Jose Valentin, I know you know him. Jose Valentin strikes out on the 3-2 ball in the dirt. I wanted to kill someone because I knew, oh my God, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
That just happened and we weren't able to score with bases loaded. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. And then it was back and forth. And then in the 9th inning, you know, Yadier Molina yanked one down the line, and we had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th with Beltran up, and you know, whatever. Everyone's gonna, you know, I mean, I do think that at 3-2 he's swinging the bat, but I'm not.
He was
looking professional baseball
like Jose Valentin, man.
Yeah.
Dead red. I mean, that was a great pitch.
Listen, I'm not knocking Beltran. He was one of my favorite Mets. Like, and I've never sat in front of 50,000 screaming fans with the bases loaded in the 9th inning. So like, who am I to say? But you know, like just in the moment, you're like, fucking swing the bat.
I know.
Yeah.
Gotta somewhat protect, man. The Valentin strikeout was tough. I remember that. That shouldn't have happened because he was having a good year.
Yeah, and that ball was like in the dirt.
Yeah.
It was like a bad pitch. I was just like,
it never looked good to him. Like, I don't know what his thought process was on that.
Maybe he wanted to be a hero. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, you know, and then the Royals, that was bad. That was just, but you know, the Royals that was their 2nd year back in it. So that was the tough part, you know.
They were good. That was a good team.
Ned Yost was good too that year.
Yeah. The Royals, man, they had, they were just fundamental, man. They could hit, they could field, they could run the bases. Like they didn't make mistakes. And like you want to hear a crazy stat about that World Series that makes me cringe?
What's that?
We lost in 5 games. We lost 4 games to 1, right? Every single game, we were winning in the top of the 8th.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
That's
the last game, game 5, when Harvey 2-1.
Yeah. I was at all those games, all the whole games. I went to all 3. Yeah. The whole crowd was cheering like for Harvey to come back, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, just bring in Familia. That year, Familia was great. Like, I know he had a bad game in game 1, but like,
Yeah.
there's no reason. Whatever. I'm just playing Monday quarterback. But at the moment, I was like, why bring in Harvey? Like, he pitched a 1-run 8-inning gem. Like, we don't need him to be. Like, we need to win this game. We don't need to play hero.
Yeah, and then the throw to home.
Oh, my dude. And me and my brother, we sit on the first base side. We like literally in the mezz in the middle. Like we watched that. Like my brother, you could hear him scream, "Fuck!" Like you just heard. You're like, you just knew. You knew it was over.
I remember that. What I remember about that game, that game wasn't on Halloween. There was another. It was after that. And I'm with my buddy, and we're like, Harvey started that game, right? He went 8. No, he went 9.
He went 9. He pushed on 9. They took him out in the top of the 9th after they gave up the run.
They gave up the run.
Yeah.
The game total for betting was 7 runs. And I told my buddy, I said, listen, this is a sure bet for this Matt Harvey. And I remember that game being 1-0 into the 9th. Yeah. We were so happy. They go up 2-1, 7-1, and the game just gets out of control.
Yeah. Not good. Not good.
We took a hit that day.
Yeah, that was a tough one. My brother stayed in the seats to watch the Mets last out. I watched it, but I was like, I can't watch. Like, I don't want to watch them celebrate on the fucking mound. Like, I don't need this. So I went up to the top and just kind of watched, and it was like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough one. But we were good though. That's the thing. Kansas City was
very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
We had good arms. We had good bullpen.
We were good. They were just again, like they were winning like 3-2. Like we just didn't hit. The bats got cold in the World Series.
And they were hitting Syndergaard.
No, he's the one that got the win.
He did?
Yeah,
he pitched issue with Escobar, right? He had the issue.
Yeah. He pitched the 3rd game, and they won that game. I don't know what the score is. Maybe they hit him a little bit. I don't know what the score was. They didn't really hit, like in game 1. DeGrom pitched. We were winning 1-0 in the 9th, and then Familia gave up the tying home run.
Yeah.
So we did everything right. We didn't score runs though.
Yeah.
And if we scored 4 or 5 runs every game, we probably sweep that series. World Series.
I don't know why we're not hitting so well. Why is that? That's kind of always fallen in the Mets.
Besides 06.
Yes.
2006, we were a machine.
Yeah.
Since then, I agree with you. Like we don't hit.
Weird. You know, like guys are coming here and just not hitting. But guys go to the Yankees and hit. Like that. Like it's got to be something we're doing, and maybe that's gonna fix. That could fix.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Eric Chavez was a good hitter. I mean,
he's young too.
Yeah. I don't really know the approach anymore of like a hitting coach. Like, I don't know if they're just teaching to a playbook, because now with analytics, like it's more of like an approach. Now, I mean, hitting's always been an approach, but it's more like, all right, you're a lefty. He's a fastball pitcher. You need to pull. Whereas like 20 years ago, the approach was like, oh, he's pitching me outside, slap it to left.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing that. They're just, they have like one approach. I don't know if a hitting coach has the same role they used to have, but I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I think again, and I could be guessing here. I think from the way it seems how baseball's been, I gotta say it's probably they give suggestions, because these are MLB guys. They make it more. I think when you get a younger guy like Chavez, not to that 50, 60 and up caliber age group, was taught to coach a different way. And it's the attitudes in the game now are so much different than they were back then. Like it's just different. And And I think young coaches understand it because they were playing in that era. They ended their career in that era. They started in that, old school nose, hard coach, blah, blah, blah. And now it's kind of just, they probably take the analytics, throw them in a binder saying, this is kind of where this guy likes to locate. And this is kind of like where he likes to use certain pitches and certain counts. I suggest this. And they probably do a one-on-one quickly. And then they go with and this is me just kind of putting some dots together from listening to announcers talk about it, especially on A-Rod on Monday night, really gets into it, kind of like what the club life is like, and does a little backside tour. But
you like A-Rod?
Yeah. I don't hate him. I think he's just a regular season guy, right? Killer stats, regular season, didn't hit in the postseason.
Yeah, I think steroids plays a big part in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Plays a big part. Not that he wasn't going to be good; he was going to be good. Like,
he was brought up from a young kid.
Yeah, he was. Him and Derek Jeter, Ken Griffey, those guys, 20 years old, they're in the league.
I didn't like that he sold that one to the Yankees. I think he should just stayed in Texas. But just my whole thing, like that's kind of like, all right, you're gonna be a Yankee, you're gonna be a star. Like, okay, well, why don't you go shine in Texas somewhere? Make it noticeable,
Yeah, I think he played with Buck in Texas, didn't
he? Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I believe so. I think
because he played for Pinella in Seattle.
Wow, Pinella, shit, forgot about him. Yeah.
He played Pinella. Yeah,
I remember in the '80s, my dad, the old Yankee Stadium, the courts are right there, the courts, Supreme Court building, whatever.
Where?
Anyway. Right behind Yankee Stadium, Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad worked in it, for 30-some years. When I was a little kid, he took us to a few games and Lou Piniella played.
Oh.
I was young. I was young. I just I remember I just remember I saw him play one. Yeah.
How was he?
I think T will probably be able to answer better than me, but I think he was a good baseball player.
Yeah.
I think he was like a hard-nosed baseball player, I believe.
I like that. My favorite guy is Pete Rose. I watched his videos. Like I would go onto YouTube and watch his videos. I love the way he played the game. I love everything about him. The whole Hall of Fame, not a Hall of Fame. I don't even think he cares at this point. Maybe he does, but I don't really think he cares. It's been like, it's so political when it comes to that.
Yeah.
He knows what he did.
Yeah, and like gambling, like in New York, gambling becomes legal Saturday morning at 9, right?
It does?
Yeah, like all the apps. I'm not a gambler, but the DraftKings. I mean, I've gambled a lot in my life, but I'm not like a real gambler. The DraftKings, that's all allowed. So like the funny thing is like gambling is starting to slowly just become legal, and like they're still keeping them out. You're like, all right, like
he gambled on the games and stuff like that, on games that he coached, but he gambled to win.
I'm saying like if he gambled to like shave points and lose, all right. But if he was like I'm the coach of the Reds, I'm playing whatever. But he played by the end, and and he's trying he's gambling on the Reds to win. Like I don't really see, and maybe that's just my opinion. Like I don't really see that being a big deal.
I agree. I mean, to look at it both ways, baby. The opposite conversation is that you may know a team is for a game that you're gonna bet. You may know the team is not as good as you. Like you just know it from baseball sense. Some guys are out. Maybe some people don't know they're out. Things of that nature.
Yeah, it's insider trading, right? The concept of insider, but I would say the Black Sox of 1919 is the reason why it's such a big deal, because that was that
was bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
that's bad. So. Yeah. Jeez.
But that's humans, man. That's human beings.
That's it. That is.
Yeah. But listen, it's been about an hour, man.
Yeah.
On the gritty, I enjoyed talking to you very much about the baseball and the Mets, man.
Yeah, I love it, man. I had a good time. Yeah. That was real cool.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll be coming into our live session on Saturday, even if it's for a peek.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I like this. This is pretty cool.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, like podcasting people. I'm like, all you do is talk on a mic. It's
you're just having conversation.
That's it, man.
People, with this COVID, don't know how to have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Oh.
By the way, side note, my school got all the tests.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I they gave me one to bring home, but like, obviously we're having a lot of kids have to take the test because COVID is just running rampant in schools right now.
Right. Oh,
But
yeah.
like when my AP gave them out, I just laughed. She's like, "Wow." I'm like, "I know the guy that sent those." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, he didn't actually send them, but like he's a part of the process." Yeah.
That's
So
funny, man. That's yeah, crazy times we're in. But people need to have more conversation, about
yes.
sports. It just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And people and think out the box, when you talk about it. Don't just get so statistical. Yeah, statistics play a big part of it, but I can't believe the Braves won, to be honest with you. I'm still thinking about that right now.
Like they were in like July 15th, they were below 500, something like that. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, all right, maybe they make a run, they make the playoffs, but like you said, they lost so much pitching. They didn't have. I'm like, they lost Acuna. You lose fucking Acuna, and you still win. Like, how does that make Acuna feel? It's like, wow, do I need to be on this team?
I know. They played that Dodger series that was a good baseball series. They played good baseball in that. They started busting out the little things in that series.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can go on and on about this. I gotta go.
I always say it's been awesome to have you on the Gritty Hour. Hopefully you'll be a guest on our podcast another time, man.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you guys. You've done a great job with this. It's awesome.
Cool, man. Good talking to you.
Keep it up.
Yeah.